Yes, your name and occupation, please.
Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen?
Mr. Starbuck, you are looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony?
No.
Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You're being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations.
Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. This needs to move. I don't care anymore.
Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there?
He'll be fine.
I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of that rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim.
But I bet you think I'm lying, right?
I was of all judgment until I've heard your full testimony.
I'm sorry you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like to accept an astronaut?
I would say that when I saw you in that movie. You appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy.
I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up! What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sound of yours would rub off on the other inmates. I can't rub it off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago. Huh? That was Blackwell signing?
Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. All I did was to put Clay over my shoulder and get us out of that rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No. Guess it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words, Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Mr. Command, Mr. Command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is Mr. Command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. My helmet. My oxygen tank. Oxygen my declining. Requesting medical assistance. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, can you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, your accuracy is paramount in court. Let's see. My escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned. I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Charon here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, the capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With a spacesuit on, clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule is also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is writing on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison, but it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Let's see, my escape route, what I said before, was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The earth is blue. No, that's not right. So, I guess the earth isn't blue. Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck! The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. The
but I didn't want to see oxygen tanks.
Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you could possibly have reached the boarding lounge by the upper level route. Huh? As long as this was along the escape route.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level, where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Taylor over your shoulder, were you not? Remember, he was in 4 space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. It's easy on the moon. Gravity's only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the space centers look here on Earth. Instead of being an octopus, climbing a ladder from an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth. Now! Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen to Take it immediately! What the? He's flying the coop! Help! I'm caught on the ceiling! Help! Anyone? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker! We must launch our rescue mission at once! Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness. Yes. I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistency can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Muscular Blackwell, please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh. I sense things are about to nosedive. Hold it! You got it all wrong. I told him to do an investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How can that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order in the court. Can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why did he just tell me he couldn't remember? He didn't want anybody to find out he was separate and going into space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder of a dead body. So what is it? A dead man feels no pain, makes no complaints, just a stoner. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his hands with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectable thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you're capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured. I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. Yeah, but they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
If that's true, the tank's explosion and sharpener will leave its mark on the body. Yeah, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
This spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, it's just a stoner. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So failing a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Consider it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should. And yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? Our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suit works. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. First, he killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After coming down, he shouldered the body and made so the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payments across the river sinks. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that means these glowing cyan dents represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. Going to prison instead of space. Space boy. Yes. Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even in view through bars. You mean this was a scene from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut
Starbuck? Mr. Rebecca got doing good. Basic prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together!
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope! Yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you are an incredible man. He said you'd never give up your dreams and pass for space no matter the situation. He said that. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence! For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Tarrant! Clay? Erasing your breath. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck? I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Alright, we'll both be fine. I'll prove your innocence, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Ah! You ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself! This is no time to be whooping and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon. All of space is calling me Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left off! Well, I feel like I'm witnessing actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Rescue Backwards' grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit, it was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. You simpletons are done massaging one another's egos. No matter how positive you be, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? Gah, I can't help now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. Won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. Got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think! The only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay were already dead by the time this verdict was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now let's see. I can say that we just received. Supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict!
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry towards the verdict. What about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now? It says that Mr. Starbuck sank at 80% remaining while Mr. Tarrant had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. Explain what you mean, Justice Donor.
It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. You have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor. Right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stand is contradiction to.
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here.
Take that!
Let the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. If this is a 50. Yes, but according to the data, our current tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? Does it change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse?
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, if you have an answer to this riddle of the mystery increasing oxygen, you better not disappoint or declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Pascal Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counterargument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen will increase? Of course I can. Things do at a time like this to turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. I think that this man his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? I'm making some kind of mistake in my base assumption here. Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. It was what? Order, Mr. Justice. You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence!
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Rescue Blackwell, you can't haunt me with a broken blade.
Excuse me?
It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Tarrant was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party.
Gah!
There was two people who claimed to be the first on the scene. Can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Army and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given the false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score! Come to think of it, Detective Army should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Army to the stand? Hold it! I have an announcement, everyone. What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here. But please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Explode! Bomb? Now? Everybody run! I don't want to die! Oh no, everybody's panicking!
Silence!
And the sick and deathless, the lot of you, come yourselves to fall or else! Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here! What about Mr. Starbuck's dream? Who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. If you let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, out. Let me go. Apollo? Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Juniper? Are you alright? Apollo? No! Not that way! Ah!